Hello everyone, George DeSantis here. It's Thursday, September 16, around midday, and I was looking at some charts. I'm looking at some charts and thought I would share them with you. Um, since the market, of course, as we all know, in September, market tends to be either flat or down a bit, not doing much of anything. And so let's take a look at some charts. I find some of these charts very interesting. So before we do that, let's bring up the disclaimer and just be aware that I'm not trying to give any particular person advice here, investment advice, since I'm not a licensed professional investment advisor. I am a licensed psychologist and I do this for my own purposes. And you can take a look, anyone can take a look at the YouTube video and do with it what they will. So let's begin to take a look at some charts. Now, here's a daily chart of the S&P 500. Now, on the weekend, I showed you a weekly chart, a daily chart, etc. And the weekly chart looked bullish still. It was still in an uptrend, parabolic. A lot of the other indications were that we were in an uptrend on the weekly chart. The daily chart, of course, shorter term was looking a little weaker. So years ago, when I first started using TC2000, there was a user who published this system here that he used, apparently quite successfully, with three MACD histograms, okay, or lines anyway, histograms and lines. And what I find interesting here is that it tends to call the bottom on the daily chart. Look at these situations here. It goes back a lot, okay? Even if you go all the way back here, and I didn't worry to do that, but I started about here, okay? Which was almost the beginning of the year, which is in February, all right? But you can see that if you go back here, you see more of these indications of a bottom, okay? Like here, for example, a bottom. Another one here, a bottom in price, if you look up here, right? And this continues all the way through. So, for example, you have another one here, another one here, another one here. Every time you get to this line about one well, anyway, this line here, whatever it represents, I think it's 1%. I'm not quite sure what the dimension is, what it measures. But in any case, just graphically, you could see how every time we seem to get a crossover of MACD, the shorter term MACD is crossing over the longer terms, the longer term MACD. You can see that typically ends up with a buy signal. In other words, we rallied from there, we rallied from here, we rallied from here, we rallied from here, etc. And now where do we stand? Right now, we are getting another such crossover here of the MACD histogram. And you can notice, if you look closely, you could notice that we're getting two yellow tips of the bars here. And that is usually associated with this turnaround. You see the yellow tip here when we rallied from there, right? You see a yellow tip here, we rallied, you see it over here, you see it over here, right? um, and on the back here as well. So I am really becoming more convinced that this 618 retracement, Fibonacci retracement, is likely to hold. Now, in addition to the MACD chart that we're looking at here, uh, if we blew this up to show us the candles, you can see that we had a doji, we had a what do you call it, a Rami with this doji bar, body of this bar totally engulfed by this. Then we had a bearish bar, but now we have another bullish bar. So we have this tug of war going on here, but it looks as though this market is looking to find a bottom here. And when we look at the MACD indicators down here, you can see that it just crossed over again as it did back here. So I'm getting more bullish. I have not sold anything. I am holding what I have. I am not listening to the perma bears who say, "Oh, a big crash is coming." Yeah, Christmas too. I know a crash is coming, but when? And I'm seeing indications here of support. So this is what I wanted to point out to you. Let me pause this and go to Jake Bernstein's chart. So here is a weekly chart of the S&P 500. On the chart that I learned from Jake Bernstein, where we plot a 10-week moving average of the highs and an 8-week moving average of the lows, and we get this so-called moving average channel. And as I understand it, Jake likes to buy within the channel. He likes to buy within the channel here. Uh, so this would be one of the areas where he would be buying this S&P. And here's another area. In this area here, he would be buying, and here and here, and so on, all the way up here. Now, where are we? We're right in the channel again, okay, on the weekly chart according to Jake's charts, right? We're right in the middle of a channel, all right? This support level here is what Larry McMillan pointed out, that this is a major support level, 43.70. We're way above that right now. The interesting thing to notice is that we don't have any sell signals, not on a weekly, and we haven't had one since this trend began. Now let's look at the daily chart. And on the daily chart, you might think, well, yeah, we must have had a sell signal here, but we don't, or we didn't. We need two successive bars, complete bars below the 8-week moving average of 8-day moving average of the lows. And we also need the accumulation distribution line to be below its 57-day moving average. We have neither of those. So we don't have a sell signal on Jake Bernstein's chart either. So that is something that I take note of, and I'm not prepared to get out of this market at all. Let the perma bears keep calling for a crash, but the 618 Fibonacci retracement level is likely to hold here, and we are finding we're getting this kind of consolidation pattern here, and we'll see what happens next. But I just wanted to point these things out to you today. We'll be getting together on the weekend again for the family meeting, and also we'll record it and send it to everyone on the bigger mailing list. So I would say hold the fort, keep the faith. Don't listen to the perma bears. Today's Thursday. We opened down. Okay, I think we opened down for the day. Historically, for the earlier part of the week, we've been opening up and closing down. I'm looking for a close higher today. Okay, on Thursday. We'll see if that happens. I'm looking for the bulls to come in and start doing some buying here. Hey, have a good Thursday. Keep the faith, and we'll talk on the weekend. Bye bye.